Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MITx MicroMasters program in Statistics and Data Science Pathway Schools webinar series. This is our 5th session. I am Susanna Kivarkova, project manager for the program, and I work closely with faculty, director of education, and other members of the team to support the run and the development of the program. And before we get started, I wanted to go over a few housekeeping notes. On the bottom of the screen, we have a Q&A button, and that's where you can submit any questions related to the program and the pathway schools. And you can just type the questions directly into Q&A box, and we will get to them as soon as possible. Also, we have the question mark widget at the bottom of the screen as well, and you can use that for any technical issues requiring immediate assistance. If you have any questions today which are unanswered, feel free to send them to the email address that you're seeing on the screen, which is micromasters-support@mit.edu. And the first thing I want to do is to briefly introduce this program to our viewers today, and many of you are already familiar with it. This program is a professional and academic credential for online learners from all over the world. You would have to pass a set of 4 online MIT level of rigor courses and 1 virtually proctored exam, and then you can earn the MicroMasters credential from MITx. Now, here at a glance, you are seeing that basically the program at a glance, and all of the courses are developed by MIT IDSS faculty. Each course is equivalent in length to 1 MIT semester, which is between 14 and 16 weeks. And the time commitment for each course is similar to what we expect from on-campus students, and it is between 10 to 14 hours per week. Courses are priced at $300 per course for verified learners and $1,350 for the whole program. And here on this next slide, you're seeing all of the courses. And these are the 4 pillar stones of data science. We have probability, data analysis, fundamentals of statistics, and machine learning. Capstone exam is coming up soon. It's going to take place in September, and I wanted to mention that it is a comprehensive exam that tests the knowledge of what you have learned across all of the courses. Now, here in the next slide, we wanted just to go over how MicroMasters program works. So first of all, you need to complete and pass the set of 4 online courses and earn the certificate in it. You would then pass 1 proctored exam and earn the certificate in that. Finally, having done all of that, you will gain the MicroMasters credential. And then you can use your knowledge and skills in your studies and in your career in the field of data science. Also, if you're interested in pursuing further graduate degree, there are many pathway school programs that you can apply to. And these are the schools that will take your MicroMasters credential and embed it into that program. And as you know, today's session is focused around that. So here on the slide that you're seeing on the screen now, these are all of the pathway schools for the MicroMasters program. And we want to point out on the far right, on the top row, we have Deakin University in Australia. And on the bottom row, the logo for Universidad Tecnologica in Uruguay. And today we are happy to have representatives from both of the schools, which will give us the deep introduction to their programs. And at this point, I will introduce the presenters. From Deakin University, we have Marcus O'Donnell, Associate Professor, and we have Lucy Schulz, Director of Cloud Campus. And from Universidad Tecnologica, we have Virginia Robano, Director of CoLAB and Program in Data Science. And at this point, I will pass the floor on to Marcus.
Thanks, Susanna. We're very happy to be here today to talk to you about pathways into postgraduate study at Deakin University. Deakin is a university that is focused on innovative approaches to teaching and learning, and so it's great to be partnering with something like MITx. And we've done a lot of work on MOOC platforms all around the world, and we're very used to students coming to us from a range of different pathways. So what we're going to do today is talk to you a little bit about Deakin and our unique approach to online learning, and then we will run through some of the courses that you might gain entry into after having done a MicroMasters. And then, of course, we will have plenty of time for questions. As Susanna said, you can just type in your questions in the Q&A box down the bottom, and we will try and answer as many of those as possible online here today, and then you're free to follow up with us afterwards. Deakin University is a relatively young university. We're one of the world top 50 under 50 universities, and we were founded in a place called Geelong, which means that we're a regional university, so we, from the very beginning, were doing distance education, and that evolved into online education, and we're regarded as probably one of the foremost online universities in Australia. We're in the top 1% universities in the world, according to a number of the world rankings. And the thing that we're most proud of is that we're consistently #1 for graduate satisfaction out of all of the universities in our home state of Victoria. So we take teaching and learning very, very seriously. And we think we have a really unique approach to that, which we call our cloud campus. So we have a number of physical locations, like most universities, but we say that our 5th location is our cloud campus, and that accounts for around about a quarter of our students. In an online course at Deakin, you will have access to all of the same types of resources that a located student has. So we have very, very rich online learning sites, which will be those of you who have already done the MicroMasters at MIT, you will be used to working through short videos, then answering tasks online. We do very similar things in our learning management system. We have seminars in environments like this, so you'll be able to connect with other students, connect with lecturers, and students tell us that being an online student at Deakin is a very engaging experience, and they feel like they're a really important part of the university community.
So here's a video which explains some of those features in a little bit more detail.
Studying online with Deakin gives you the flexibility to tailor your learning to fit around your life. You'll access Deakin's leading online systems, which connect you to your world-class lecturers, premium resources, fellow students, and support. When you study with Deakin, you'll be joining an online community of 60,000 students located across Australia and around the world. You can easily connect and collaborate with your peers through Deakin Sync, your easy-to-navigate personalised online learning portal. From Deakin Sync, you'll access your unit sites. Here you'll find all your learning resources, including high-quality audio-visual class materials and live-streamed or downloadable classes and seminars. Your expert lecturers are dedicated to supporting you through your studies and will communicate with you regularly. Library and IT support is also available to you around the clock, and Deakin students have the highest satisfaction in IT resources of any university in Australia and New Zealand. Plus, you'll get free access to a range of valuable communication and collaboration software through Deakin's software library. With Deakin, you can have a world-class education and achieve your career goals on your terms.
Okay, so my name's Lucy Schulz and I'm the Director of the CoLAB campus. And I'd like to thank you for listening to us today and considering studying at Deakin University. This is just a little bit of information. We've seen a number of questions come through and certainly we've been briefed by the MIT staff that you're interested in knowing how to actually apply and where to get some information. So these slides will be available, and I think you know this, after the presentation. And if you go through and look at these links, it should take you to the information that you need. The most important thing is really to make sure that you're choosing a course that is right for you. And so we have something like 170 courses that are offered online. So there's a lot to choose from, and there's some which you'll see as I progress through the slides, which provide credit and or entry for the MicroMasters that you have studied or you're considering studying. And so you'll be able to see those details shortly. But these are the sort of four main steps. The most important one, I think, is really being able to find a course that meets your requirements. The second thing is, and there's two aspects to our entry requirements for our graduate or postgraduate programs. They are English language requirements as well as academic and work experience requirements. We like to think of ourselves as quite a flexible university, and when I take you through some of the information, you'll be able to see that there are different pathways depending on your academic and work experience background. So it's very important. Each course will have their own details about entry requirements. I'm going to show you some of those general requirements, but I certainly encourage you to have a look at the specific course that you're interested in. There'll be a request as part of the application process for some supporting documentation. So that might include previous transcripts or evidence of your work experience. And then it's as simple as using our applicant portal to submit your application. So here is the general information about our entry requirements for master's degrees. And I won't take you through all of these details, except to show you that there are different types of different amounts of subjects, if you like, or units that you will study depending on the entry requirements that you have. To give you a bit of an idea, an 8-unit master's is about 1 year or the equivalent of 1 year of full-time study. And you can see that depending on your previous work and academic background, you'll be able to study the 8, 12 or 16-unit master's degree. The English language requirements, that was another question that came through, and these are quite important depending on where you work, where you've studied previously. These English language requirements are important for you to have a look at. If you are based in the US and you have been working and or studying in the US previously, that will meet our English language requirements. You don't have to sit, and I know lots of universities have what they call an IELTS language test. this is just really so you're aware there are lots of different ways of satisfying those English language requirements. And now to the part where we recognise your learning, and this is very important to us. As Marcus said earlier, we are also we've been looking at MOOCs, delivering MOOCs, where we think this is a fantastic way of learning. We also are very active in developing our own micro-credentials, and so we very much recognise the work that MIT and MITx are offering here as a program. And we were one of the first universities, certainly in Australia, to put up our hands and say, yes, we would like to recognise the learning that students do in those micro-masters. So now I'm going to take you through some slides which have a lot of information on them, and it takes you through each of the micro-masters that MITx is offering. So depending on the one that you've done, this information will be most relevant to you. So to give you an example, if you've studied the supply chain management micromasters, this just includes the degrees, the amount of credit that you will get, and in fact it includes which units of study you will actually be able to get credited on the basis of your supply chain management degree or micromasters. And Marcus is very helpfully getting the slides for me to have a look at, because on my screen it looks quite small, and I hope it's not quite as small on your screens at home or wherever you're watching this. But this just takes you through the details for data economics and development policy. So if you've done the micromasters in data economics and development policy, then this is the list of degrees and credit or entry, depending on what other studies that you might have done.
And so you can see that in some degrees that you might want entry into, we give what's called unspecified credit, which means you just get a block of 4 units. In some of the other degrees, our academic directors have gone through and said, oh, okay, in the micromasters you studied this unit, that's exactly the same as this unit in our degree, so we say we'll tick that one off. So it's very flexible, but as Lucy said, we really think that what MITx is doing is fantastic, and we're very keen for students to come through and be validated and recognise that learning.
We're going to save quite a bit of time at the end for questions, and I know that some of you will have some very specific questions that relate to your own personal circumstances. We have an area of the university, like most universities, our prospective student inquiry centre, who will be able to work with you individually to ensure that we give you the advice that's exactly right for you. So we certainly encourage you to follow up with them, or in fact with us after this presentation. So if you've done the statistics and data science micromasters, and I understand quite a lot of you have, or will be finishing the capstone, as Susanna said at the beginning. So this is the sort of credit you will be able to get. And you can see there's a real mix here depending on the degree that you're interested in. And there's a really, quite extensive range of master's degrees available. So finally, I just wanted to show you this page, which is actually from our website, and it gives you a little bit of an insight into how you apply. It's pretty simple. As I said at the beginning, it's important that you have thought about which course you're interested in, looked at the course page on our website. There's a lot of information there about career opportunities, about support, how our online learning environment works, the entry requirements, the specific units of study that you will do, the costs involved in choosing that qualification, as well as the application procedures. So all of that information is there on those course pages. And then once you've had a look at that information, you'll know when you go in to apply, all you have to do is click through and essentially follow the prompts. So I would invite questions from you, and I'm just going to click across to the next slide, which just gives you the details of our Prospective Student Inquiry Centre for those of you who do want to follow up specifically about your own circumstances. Okay, so I'm just going to look at some of the questions that are there. One of the questions is there any career support or advisory services provided? The answer to this is that we have a terrific area called our Graduate Employment Area, or Deakin Talent, and you'll be able to access information about their services also from our website. They provide a lot of support, including all of their services are available online. They provide a number of Skype appointments if you want some career coaching or that kind of advice. There are a lot of tools and resources available. So the answer to that question is yes, very much so. A question here about how international students apply for the program. And again, when you go to the course page, you'll be able to see specific information for international students. So anybody who's not an Australian citizen or resident is considered to be an international student, and you can have a look at the specific information there. So that'll be one of the choices when you look at the course pages. One of the first choices that you make is whether you're a domestic or an international student.
And I think one of the unique things about Deakin's offering is that as an international student, you can study from wherever you are, or you can apply through the normal process, and that's slightly more complicated in that you have to get a visa to study in Australia, but you could come and be an on-campus student at Deakin if you meet those requirements. But it's very easy for an international student to stay in their home country and to study with Deakin.
A question here about how long the programs are at Deakin, and that's a really good question. And you will have noticed on the specific slides showing the credit that you would get for the MicroMasters you may have done, that the program length will vary depending on your academic and work experience backgrounds. And I think it's important to say both of those things. It's not just about your academic study. One of the things that we certainly recognise in our graduate level programs is the amount of work experience that people have, and we certainly look at that for the purposes of entry. That then determines how long it will take to study the qualification that you're interested in. If you see, you'll be able to see those details and the length of the program on each of those course pages. Bit of a language thing there. I know in the US and in a lot of places around the world, they talk about programs. For us, a program is the same as a course. So that's the degree or the qualification.
And I think it'd be fair to say that if somebody comes to us with a MicroMasters, which is we would regard essentially as the equivalent of 6 months study, that most of our courses you would be able to complete in a year or less.
Yeah. Let's have a look. We may have already answered this one. As a credential holder of an MRTX MicroMasters program in Statistics and Data Science, which master's programs can I apply for at Deakin? and I'm hoping there's a slide that's particularly dedicated to that, and Marcus is doing a quick count for me.
11.
There's 11 courses that you can apply for.
And they range from health courses like a Master of Public Health through to other courses that are more specifically in data science, data analytics, cybersecurity. So there's quite a wide range depending on what you want to do with your career. And I think that's one of the really great things about statistics and data science is that it is a skill that is needed in every single industry now.
Yep. There's another good question here about when the applications open and what the application timelines are. One of the things about Deakin University is that we operate on a trimester system. So we actually have 3 trimesters in a year. We've started, I think we're about week 5 or 6 of trimester 2. And certainly applications are now open for trimester 3 as well as trimester 1 next year. So trimester 3 commences in November. You've got that right. And trimester 1 commences next year at the beginning of March. So depending on when you want to study, you could study this year or begin your studies this year. There are also a couple of courses on the list that you'll see that you can actually study units in what we call start anytime. So, for instance, the Master of Business Analytics is one of the degrees which you can do and you can start anytime. Also, our Masters of Business Administration is another one of those degrees you can start anytime. So there are a number, and these are the answer to your question is a bit course specific, but that's the sort of general information.
So March, July or November are our 3 main starts, but we are working towards a system where, as Lucy says, you can start any time.
Question here about how many students will be admitted into the master's program. And I think the answer to that is
a
lot.
If you meet the requirements,
yep,
you will be admitted there. Because we offer our programs in a number of different modes, we have the facility to take quite a lot of students, and we generally do.
Yeah. There may be a couple of degrees here where they involve placements or things like that. But again, our goals in the graduate programs in particular is to take as many students as who meet the entry requirements. So please, if you are interested, apply. Don't let any constraints stop you. Just checking, so we've answered some of those questions. There's one here which I think is always a good question to answer, and that is how much does the master's program cost? And the answer to that is it is, again, very course specific, but we're very transparent about the costs of our programs. And so if you have a look on the specific course pages, you will see the information there about the cost of any course you're interested in.
So there's a tab at the top of every page that talks about the fee structure.
Yeah. So I think we've covered most of the questions here. You may have other questions as you think of them, so please keep those questions coming. We know that there's a little bit of time right at the end where we will get another opportunity to assist answering those questions, and we're certainly happy to take questions offline. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Virginia Robano, and thank you for your time today, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello. Can you listen to me? Yes? So, I'm very pleased to be here presenting our program in data science. To start, let me highlight this picture of the launch of our programs in one of our on-site workshops here in Montevideo, Uruguay, where Professor Krishna Rajagopal, the Dean of Open Learning at MIT, he was explaining to our students, he was lecturing about the specifics of the program and how we are building this innovative education and bringing technology to education and having it available through the world. As I said, I'm Virginia Robano, the director. CoLAB is a hub of disruptive educational projects here in Montevideo, in Uruguay. And our first offer is the program in data science. We are an interinstitutional program, government supported, and we have UTEC, which is Universidad Tecnologica, a very young university as well, and we are offering the first graduate program from UTEC, which has been created with the support from JWL at MIT. We have developed this program, which lasts 17 months, and I will be telling you more about this in a minute. Why did the MIT join us in this project? Because we have the experience of Plan Ceibal and the one laptop per child that we have been able to successfully bringing in technology to education for the past 12 years. Yes, Plan Ceibal engages with PK-12 students and also vocational education and training, and is an organization that links technology to education, as I said. And they realized that here in Uruguay, where we speak Spanish, we have English as a mandatory language, but only 30% of the students could had English lessons. And why was that? Because there were not enough English teachers. So they say, okay, how can we come up with a solution through technology to this problem? And with a video conference system, we started hiring professors from the UK, from Argentina, from other parts of Uruguay to the country, from the Philippines, even from Australia. And we have been able to successfully cover for this lack of presential teachers, on-site teachers. So the next step was, okay, how we can use, now that we can successfully, we found a way to successfully use technology to solve a problem, what can we do? And in Uruguay, we have, we are the first software developer in Latin America. We have been a country that has been growing for the past 15 years. So there is zero unemployment at the IT sector. This is good, but this also has the liability, let's say, that our IT people have not been able, had the time to get trained on the skills that are on the skills of today and of the future, where data science is one of them. And we came up with this program with the MIT to say, okay, let's have a blended program, an online program where we can fill this gap. Our third institution that I would like to highlight that is part of the CoLAB is our National Research Agency, ANI, Agencia Nacional de Innovación e Investigación. And ANI is the one in charge of building and or strengthening the links between our graduates and the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Yes. Yes. So, sorry. Okay.
Open learning content has many parts. It's a complex set of people. You are meeting some of us this week.
Okay, so in this very short video, you could appreciate what was the launch of our program, our first cohort of students who they started last May. On May 16, we had our first workshop. These were some of the pictures of our students. I want to highlight that we have 58 students doing this blended program. Half of them are engineers, but half of them are not. Yes, we have a quarter of economists and then people from many other academic backgrounds that they all have calculus and algebra and Python knowledge, but they are accountants, MBAs, people in finance as well. Because what we try to do with this data science program is that we can use data science to, we can apply the data science knowledge in many different areas, because what we want to do is to spur the entrepreneurial ecosystem in the country. Yes, that's why we highlight the part of this being a professional master, because as opposed to academic, we want to be very hands-on, yes, hands-on, and very applied. We had a 1-week workshop at the start of the program, and in January we are going to have a 4-week workshop with MIT professors here in Uruguay, yes, where they are going to use this data science to solve specific challenges, 8 specific challenges that they are going to be decided, and they are to be decided in January, and they are going to be part of the graduation process for the students, yes, in many different areas that are health, finance, e-commerce, yes, the agricultural sector, tourism as well, all the things that are related to our in the country. Well, as I have pretty much said that already, what are the objectives for the program? I want to highlight once again that what we want is to strengthen all the links between the government, academia, the entrepreneurial sector, also the investors, yes, and the innovators. Yes, what we aim is to have as many international students as possible. Yes, the program is in English, and ANI, our national research agency, is going to provide support at the end of the program. So the students can apply for support, yes, to have specific lines of projects, lines of businesses, either new firms or within an existing firm, in order to develop the ideas and to implement these ideas that have used data science. What is the structure? In order to earn the master's degrees, you need 100 credits. Of these 100 credits, 65 of them are part of the MicroMasters in Data Science program with the MIT. What do we have? On top of that, we have our own courses in R, in doing graphs, in clustering, in cloud computing from UTEC and from Facultad de Ciencias in Uruguay, the other public university here, to offer this range of elective courses that you can take. But the most important part of it is that we supplement this, the MIT, the MicroMasters courses, with weekly meetings with the MIT facilitators that are provided by JWell and from UTEC. Yes, because what we say is, okay, we have this innovative way of teaching now that instead of, since the times of Gutenberg, the professor speaking and translating the book in Latin to all the people who could not read Latin, we say, okay, now you can learn all you need to learn online, but not in an asynchronous way, and you discuss with your facilitator once a week, where what has been the most challenging part, what are the solutions, you propose new approaches, and you learn from these interactions with your fellow students and also with the professors in cases there are difficulties. Yes, all the classes, all the lessons are in English. Also, and very important, we have, as part of our program in data science, the Harvard Law School offers here in Montevideo the program on negotiation. This is a 3-day program that, and Harvard itself, the Harvard Law School, is the one that issues the certificate of completion. Yes? So, at the end of the program, what you can earn 3 degrees, let's say. So the MicroMasters degree issued by EDX under the name of MIT, the certificate on negotiation issued by the Harvard Law School, and our professional masters in data science issued by Universidad Tecnologica here in Uruguay. Yes. After that, and as I mentioned before, it's here on the slide as well, you can apply for funding, for seed capital funding or human capital through our national research agency, which is ANI. Yes. In order to be able to implement and successfully have the project developed. As I said, the aim of our national program is to have Montevideo as a hub of regional projects. This is a beautiful picture of Montevideo. Positos, as I said, has the best quality of life in Latin America. I mentioned already that we are the first exporter of software per capita in Latin America. We are also the only Latin American country that is part of the D7, the digital, most advanced digital nations. Yes, we have fiber optics all across the country, internet connection for everybody. Yes. Very good quality of life. Now is winter, but temperature is 18 degrees. Yeah, so it's we have the Atlantic Ocean, as you can see over there. Yes, very beautiful, very peaceful. We are also very few people, only 3 million here in Uruguay. And this is part of what we want to attract international students to come to Uruguay and to stay and build enterprises. Yes. So our application process, we have an online website, which is datascience.edu.ui. There you go and submit the form, and you are contacted by people from our admissions office, and then we have an online interview. You send your CV, an application letter, and there is a small test that you take in order to ensure yourself that you are proficient and you have the skills needed in calculus, in univariate and multivariate, and also in algebra and the programming in Python, which are the ones that you need to successfully complete the MicroMasters in data science, which is the core of our program. We have an ongoing admission process as well. We started in May, and our next cohort is going to start in January 2020. We are already receiving applications, and our next cohort is likely to start in September. So either once we complete the 100 applicants that we are students that we are aiming for our second cohort, we are on a waiting list for the third. Yes. We have some, not many, but a few fellowships. And we want to promote especially the participation of women in this area as well. Yes, the process of application, as I said, is very streamlined, and you can find it on our website. Now, what I have is some pictures of our, so some pictures of the launch. Here at the first, in the first picture, you can see the president of each of the institutions that are our umbrella and are supporting this program in data science. Yes. Universidad Tecnologica. There is also the Minister of Education, the President of the National Research Agency, and the President of Plan Ceibal. Then in the second picture, you have Professor Vijay Kumar from MIT, the Associate Dean and the head of JWEL, who they came to Uruguay to launch the program, to present, and to conduct the first week workshop, which was on site. At the top right, also Professor Krishna Rajagopal speaking to the students on the same lecture, sorry. And then pictures from our students. Average, as it is a postgraduate program, on average, the age is 36-year-old, but we have from early graduates who are 24 to older people, let's say our oldest student is 55. Yes, our program lasts 17 months. And well, here you have some during the workshop as well. As I said, in the first cohort, we have 58 students. Yes. Regarding the program, as I said, you have the website, the datascience.edu.ue or UE is the same, or you can email us at ds@datascience.edu for questions or to answer that. Yes. Thank you very much for your interest today, and I'm available to answer some questions, which I think I have seen them here. So, I see that I have 9 questions. In what order shall I answer them? Yes, I am looking at the questions already. So, to be admitted to the master's program, we aim to have about 100 students. Yes, we aim to have about 65 international students. Yes, because we do not want to compete with the Uruguayan institutions that are offering related but mostly academic programs. What is the career path for our graduates? Well, we have 3 types of students, let's say. Some students, as I mentioned earlier, that they just finish their degree and are continuing studying, yes, to the masters. We also have students that come from firms, yes, that they want to strengthen their skills in data science or build an innovation and research department, a research and development department within the firm, and they are sending their students. And we also have people who they are entrepreneurs, they have startups or already established firms, and they want to have acquire the skills offered by MIT. So, for all of them, we are articulating with our sector, through the National Research Agency from Uruguay, and also with some cameras, the IT camera for Uruguay and other industrial cameras, in order to precisely link and articulate this connection between the academia, the school, and the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Yes. I have another question, which says, in what language the master program is taught? It's in English. Everything is in English. Of course, everybody speaks Spanish. And we have a couple of students from Brazil who speak Portuguese, but all interactions are done in English. Yes, for the time being. Well, these questions I might have already answered. When does the application open and when is the deadline? So we opened for this cohort that is going to start in January 2020, we opened this week. We already have about 16 applications. And there is no deadline because once we get to the number, they will be on the waiting list for our next cohort. Yes, or we offer one facilitator from the MIT and one from UTEC every 25-30 students. So we move in blocks of that many. If we have about 30 students, we open another class, right? How long is the program in UTEC? In order to earn a master's degree in data science issued by UTEC is the 17 months, yes? And one last question is, any career support advisory will be provided? Yes, we have an academic coordinator at UTEC and also a career coordinator. Yes, that she is on a daily basis interacting with the students, suggesting what electives they should take to go on a specific path. Yes, And of course, at the CoLAB, which are overseeing all the development of the program, we are always available, yes, to provide support. Yes, well, how much does the master program cost? It costs a little more than $6,000 for the 17 months to earn the master's degree. And for the students that already have the MicroMasters in data science at MIT and want to have the on-site workshops with our team here in Uruguay, we deduct the $1,500. We deduct to that the $1,500 that the MicroMaster costs. Yes, so it's about that. Okay. Well, I think that will be all on my side. Anna, if you want to take over.
That's great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Virginia. And thank you to our speakers. I just wanted to go to the next slide. I think we have something else appearing. So I wanted to thank Marcus O'Donnell, Lucy Schulz from Deakin University, and Virginia Robano from Universidad Tecnologica. And I wanted to take this last few minutes that we still have to give the floor back to you in case you have any remarks or you want to bring anything to our viewers' attention.
Hi, Susanna. Not much from here. One point I just did want to make, which relates to the costs of our courses, and I hope people are busy having a look at the courses as we speak, is that, of course, the prices that are quoted on our website will be in Australian dollars, so it's worth knowing that against the US dollar, for instance, that will be very beneficial to students who have completed the MITx MicroMasters and looking to study in Australia. So that was my only, just wanted to pick that comment up because it was reflected in the questions that we saw. Thanks, Susanna.
Thank you, Lucy, for making that comment.
Okay. On our part, on behalf of the program in data science at Universidad Tecnologica, Uruguay, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and we want to highlight once again that this program has been developed with the support of JWell at MIT, yes, and in close cooperation, and as I said, also with Harvard University for this certificate. And we welcome your applications, and we look forward to seeing you here in Uruguay.
Great. And thank you to all of our learners who joined us today. We hope that you found our presentations informative. And we want to point to the link that you're seeing on the screen right now, which captures all of the webinar series that have taken place over the course of the last few weeks. This session actually completes our series. And we invite you to view all of the videos. And once again, thanks for joining. And we wish all of our learners success with MITx MicroMasters program in Statistics and Data Science and we'll see many of you back in the forums. Thank you.